Welcome to a new episode of Mr. Mawater. At this point, I still don't even know what the channel's name is, but I thought I'd just film and start. So, long story short, I've been on YouTube for like 4 or 5 years. I've been filming cars weekly, non-stop, and I've decided why not start creating some content in English. Maybe not for all the cars I film, only for the special ones. And today, we have a very special Lamborghini Huracan STO. Even though I've been doing this for a while, it feels now in English like I'm starting from scratch. I'm used to describing and, let's say, expressing in Arabic, so I'm gonna try my best to show you the car and focus on some of the intricate details I found and noticed in the STO. The Huracan has been out since like 9 or 10 years now, and we've known it pretty well. I think you've watched multiple reviews of the car. The Huracan STO has changed significantly. Almost all body panels are different. The car from the front end looks much more aggressive, much wider. It has a lot more openings and vents for the air to circulate into the car and to cool it down. What that means is we've lost the storage space. Usually on the Huracan you have a space for like 2 small suitcases. Over here no more. It's all vents and the air goes through the car. It penetrates kind of the front bonnet. It's actually not called a bonnet in Lamborghini terms, it's called a cofango, which is a mix between cufano, which means hood in Italian, and pirofango, which means fenders in Italian as well. And speaking of fenders, look how much more aggressive the fenders are. Look at all the blades and the carbon work that's happening over here to release the air from the front wheel hubs. Of course, you'll also see here like a lock or key kind of thing. This is actually where you open the front hood from. There's no traditional switch to open the cofango. Instead, you'll see this key-like element, and if you notice closely, this is actually 3D printed by Lamborghini. I'm not sure if it shows on camera, but you can see all the lines from the 3D printing, and on the back it says 3D in very small letters, and it's actually pretty lightweight. So after opening and releasing these elements, actually it's better done by 2 people, but I'm gonna try and open it by myself without breaking this probably super expensive carbon fiber piece. This is actually the showpiece of the car. So storage space is lost. Instead, you have these 2 air vents going through the front cooler, and in the center where you usually have storage, you have this laundry box kind of thing, and you're supposed to be able to store your helmet for track days in this space. I've tried it and it actually fits. Although this front hood or cofango doesn't open in a traditional manner, you have this traditional support element, which has, by the way, the VW logo on it. And this is meant to support this piece in case there's like strong wind or something. You'll also see the color code of the car. I know some of you might be interested. This is actually Grigio Hatti. It's a lovely gray color. It's similar to Nardo gray, but of course it has a different shade. And I really like these non-metallic colors on the car. Of course, closing it is a bit easier. You just release it and it shuts. And this is actually like a cantilevered piece. You can see how you can wrap your hand around it. It's like a flying buttress over here. And this element, which kind of looks like a mustache on the car, can be optioned in like a fancy color. I think some cars online I've seen like yellow, red, orange, different colors, but this blends in pretty well, I think. Aside from the carbon cofango on the car, Lamborghini has taken extreme measures to reduce the overall weight of the car. If you notice, the front windshield is actually less thick than the regular one. However, the rear glass or the rear plexiglass has been eliminated completely. They kept reducing the weights on the different variants of the Huracan, and finally here on the STO, no more. Remove it completely. We have this, I'm not sure, it's a carbon piece actually, that's much lighter in weight, and it has a double purpose. It functions as well as an air vent. Now this is not an intake into the engine, this is just a vent to, I guess, circulate air around the engine bay. And look at this aggressive shark fin in the back. I'm not sure how functional or how much more downforce or traction this gives. However, it looks cool. It looks like a statement on the road. And this is the main statement of the car. Look how massive and aggressive this rear wing is. I've recently filmed actually this car along with the Viper ACR. Probably the Viper ACR is the only other car that has a bigger rear wing than this Huracan. Of course, this wing is adjustable. You can get different levels of downforce in the car. Currently, it's on the medium level. And it's nice how it has those support arms, like a swan neck design. Using the same 3D printed key, we can unlock both sides. This is also a two-man job, but I'm gonna try and do it by myself. It's actually light. It's probably in carbon as well. There's nowhere actually to put the cover, but you can have a quick look at the engine bay. I've noticed the special models of Lamborghini usually come with a different color engine bay than the regular one. They come in like a gold bronze finish, where the regular Huracans are finished in black. I've tested recently the Performante. It was pretty loud. I didn't feel like the car needed an aftermarket exhaust. Maybe with the new regulations, they had to put the Akrapovic to get the sound of the car a bit louder. Of course, these are titanium pipes. You can see the coloration on the pipes over here. Look how lovely those openings are, showing the rear tires of the car. You'll also notice Lamborghini's obsession with the number 6. You can see the 6 indentations here on the exhaust tips. Those are actually not the actual tips of the exhaust. Those are just trim pieces. The actual exhaust lies inside behind it. You can see it with the valves open. The sound of the exhaust is nice, although I don't feel it's as loud as the Performante. There's no rev limiter. However, once you rev it a few times, a rev limiter is there. You give it a few seconds, rev limiter is gone. You rev it again, rev limiter comes back. Listen for yourself. You'll see more aerodynamic, more fins over here, NACA ducts, all sorts of aerodynamics happening around the vehicle. The rims are center lock. There are massive carbon ceramic brakes. Actually, Lamborghini says those are not the typical carbon ceramic. Those are special ones from Brembo, and the braking power of them is actually pretty impressive. Getting into the vehicle, we have the typical Lamborghini key. However, we have like a dead button here in the middle. We used to have the automatic front hood, but since we have the Kufango now, it's just dead. It's actually not fully dead. It's more like a blinker at the moment. So it could wink at people when like a chick passes by or something. It might be useful. And as soon as you open the door, you notice how different this is to a regular Huracan. Those aren't the bucket seats. Those are more like sport comfort seats. They're actually pretty comfortable for what the car is. Otherwise, everything else in the interior is removed. The car is stripped down. You have no floor mats. It's fully solid. You feel like you're ice skating here on the interior. The door is actually also all stripped out. It's a full single piece of carbon fiber. And instead of the typical Lamborghini door handle, you have those straps. And on normal Huracans, if you remember, we had the mirror controls and the lock unlock on those handles. Since it's removed now, we have them in this cut out or recessed space. It's a pretty neat design, and we have those latches for door handles. Seat controls are nice. Also, everything feels raw, manual, mechanical. This has an aluminum look. I'm not sure if it's actual aluminum, but it's very nice. And you'll see like Italian terminology all over the car on the interior. It says sgancio. I'm not even sure how to pronounce this. Probably means pull or lever. And typically on a Huracan, you find over here it says Strada for street, Corsa for track. And the STO, they had to change it. It says STO, which is the regular mode, and beneath it is Trofeo, which is the race, I believe, mode. This disables traction control, gives you more freedom with the car. We have the regular Huracan steering wheel in Alcantara. I think this is similar to the Performante. And overall, the dashboard is fully Alcantara with the vents and this gauge cover in carbon fiber as well. Otherwise, we've lost a few things as well. We've lost cup holders. You have no cup holders in the car. So don't consider having soft drinks, or in our region, we usually have tea and chai in the car. We're no longer able to do that. A detail I really like is this Alcantara handle over here. I really like how they covered it with this carbon fiber trim, which is also hexagonal, like many other hexagons in the car. I believe from behind is where you have the screws to detach this piece, and this is how you can pull the door panel out. Another nice or weird detail is, if you notice, the hinge over here, the support element, has the OD logo. The seats have a lovely design to them. You see the carbon trim and the STO stitching on the backrest. And you also see the roll cage finished in magnesium. It's a nice, neat design, but it blocks your visibility completely. And then the car is opted with the telemetry package. So you see the cameras sticking out over here and in front of the driver center mirror. Typically on Huracans, we usually see those chrome pieces in like silver or chrome. Over here is like a dark black metallic finish. I'm not sure if this is specific to the Huracan STO only, or if this is available on other Huracan models. Of course, starting the car is in the typical Lamborghini fashion. You can also do it from this small hexagonal opening. In the gauges, you'll see the STO lettering. STO Super Trofeo Omologato. Although this is not a homologation, they don't really need to make the street variant, but Lamborghini said, why not? You see all the labeling also and lettering in Italian. Livello Benzina, which is the fuel level. Karim Benzina, same. But what I really like in this gauge display is the Huracan top view. You see the Huracan STO. They've put the effort to change the regular Huracan and put this image of the STO vehicle, which is a neat detail. You'll notice also, since this seat is carbon fiber from the back, in order to prevent this carbon fiber hitting against this roll cage, they've covered this central piece with like an Alcantara sleeve, just to make it easier in case contact happens. Let's take the STO for a spin. Now, I've done the Evo, I've done the regular Huracan, I've done the Performante, of course all in Arabic. So I have kind of a background when it comes to what a Huracan typically feels like. I can assure you, this is the most aggressive yet. Even compared to the Performante, sitting here feels like you're sitting in a cage or something. You have no insulation, you have no heat insulation. That is all in aims of getting the weight of the Huracan STO down. Like you even don't have floor mats, which is the one thing I would change in the car. I'd like to have like a Rolls-Royce kind of thick floor mats, just so my sneakers won't slide around while driving, because they slide a lot and you lose the brake and the gas pedal sometimes. Otherwise, it's a very rough ride. However, you have good ground clearance. I expected the car to be much lower, but on speed bumps, we have no issues over here. In Abu Dhabi, I rarely use the nose lift. Only when I find like extreme speed bumps do I end up using the nose lift. But it's nice to have. The 5.2 liter V10 needs no introduction. Naturally aspirated 5.2 liters. All of you are pretty familiar with this engine. It's been out for a while now. It's one of the last surviving V10 engines in the world. I don't know what other production cars are still available in 10 cylinders. The Viper is there, but of course it's no longer in production. And values are skyrocketing. In terms of value, I don't think the STO is the one that's gonna skyrocket. I think it's the Performante, because it seems production of the STO is in higher numbers than the Performante. Something else I've noticed different to the Performante is the sound. Even though this has the Akrapovic, the car is pretty quiet until it goes over 4.5 RPM. Below 4.5, it's pretty mild. Let's go Trofeo mode. dry performance driving mode on high grip surfaces. Luckily, the surfaces in Abu Dhabi are always like hot and dry, so we always have good grip on the roads. And with that said, the car has Bridgestone Potenza tires. I've also noticed they take a while until they heat up properly and get to optimal traction levels. Coming back to the sound of the car, like I said, under 4500 it's quiet. And the monster awakens after 4500. The pops and bangs you get from this exhaust system is just something else. You just end up doing downshifts and upshifts for no reason. Getting into this car, I was expecting it to be a bit louder than the Performante, especially with the Akrapovic exhaust. However, it doesn't seem like the case. Sound is fine, it's livable. You can easily manage with this exhaust note as a daily driver even. However, comfort levels are much lower than the Performante, especially with the lack of cup holders. Cup holders are very important over here. Power output of this engine is 640 horsepower. However, in aims of reducing the weight, they have also removed the front drive of the vehicle. So it's only rear-wheel drive now. It also has rear-wheel steer to aid with handling. And removing front drive from the vehicle has freed up the steering wheel a little bit. You feel it's more released, it's more free, it's more precise. You get a little bit more feeling than the regular all-wheel drive Huracans. But what's really shocking is the braking power. The car does 0 to 100 as fast as it can do 100 to 0. 100 kph, of course. That's how strong those brakes are. And I can assure you, it is actually pretty impressive. Like the first time I got the car, I hit the brakes, everything on the seats flew on the ground. In summary, it's a lovely car. It's a track weapon. It's very raw. They've stripped out almost everything. If it were to them, I think they would have even removed the front windshield. That's how crazy they've went. I think what they've achieved with the STO on the Huracan platform is much more impressive than what they've achieved with the SVJ on the Aventador platform. This car is really underrated, and I'd love to try and test this car on the track. By the way, you'll see around me Ferrari World and Yas Marina Circuit. That's where Abu Dhabi GP Formula 1 takes place. So this is where I'm actually filming this car. Let's show you a launch control from 0 to 100 before ending this episode. I'd like to hear your opinion. What I'm planning to do is cars I find special, unique, or not available worldwide, I'll film. I'm not gonna film everything I film in Arabic. I'm gonna be a little bit selective. Maybe I'll even show you some of the cars that are appreciated and respected over here in this side of the world. Let me know what you guys think, if I should carry on with English reviews or not. Thank you for the support. Thank you for watching. See you.